What's going on, everyone? It is the Derf, and if you've been looking for pulse rifle suggestions to use in this season to take advantage of the unstoppable pulse rifle perk in the artifact, I'm going through my top 8 for this season that have been cycling through multiple builds that I have. I've featured them in some videos already, but this is specifically pulse rifles, what I've been using, what I've really been enjoying, how you can take advantage of them in PvE, whether it's haunted sectors or champs or lost sectors or Vanguard or whatever. If you've been trying to play the surges and you've been looking for good pulse rifle suggestions, this is the video for you. So if you do find anything helpful in this video or you get some good ideas, please consider liking and subscribing. Or if you know someone that's looking for good pulse rifles and builds, please share this video with them. Without further ado, let's get on into it. Obviously, first on the list, we're going to start with Kinetic, and we're going to bust out good old Outbreak Perfected. Now, Outbreak Perfected is great for just about any content, but I do know that there are some people out there that don't want to waste an exotic slot in their Kinetic because they can get maybe some more potency out of Legendary, but it doesn't matter. Outbreak is good with virtually every build available. Again, it depends on how you're running, but if you're running that Master Lost sector, you're running that dungeon, you want some good splash damage, Outbreak is a great option. Once you get that precision kill, the nanites take over and continue the carnage. Next up on my list, I've got Chattering Bone. Chattering Bone is an excellent, very high handling pulse rifle. It's 450 rounds per minute, so you know you're going to be getting lots of bullets. And I have mine equipped with Kill Clip and Kinetic Tremors. I have both of them enhanced. So when you're laying into that high yellow bar, high red bar like this, you can see I'm already proccing the Kinetic Tremors. It's a great option for ad clear as well as Master, Legendary Lost Sectors, or that high-end raid in which you don't want to use your exotic slot on a pulse rifle. Chattering Bone has been a staple in a lot of my build videos, and if you haven't had the opportunity to craft it or run Last Wish raid, I encourage you to do so. Find yourself a group, either Discord, or you can get at me because we run that raid relatively regularly, and we can try to help you get this thing unlocked so that you can enjoy it like I do. But high handling and quick reload speed, this is an excellent weapon for Legend Lost Sectors, and because it's legendary, you still have your exotic slot open. Next up, we've got Blast Furnace. Blast Furnace is a farmable kinetic pulse rifle. It does roll with Kinetic Tremors. I just recently got the roll that I want, which is Kinetic Tremors and Rampage. This is an excellent weapon taking into Legend or Master Lost Sectors, Haunted Lost Sectors. You can just continually dump bullets into those champs, and the Kinetic Tremors, once that procs, it will release, obviously, splash damage, and it is a very high-powered legendary kinetic pulse rifle. One of the reasons I like it, and I'm just going to select it right now, it's got extremely high range, extremely high stability, and of course I died right there. But the only downside is reload speed. So if you can, and the handling's not the greatest, so if you can mock it up so that you get moderate handling, moderate reload speed. You might even need to put a kinetic loader on there. That's going to be a great weapon for you. It is also very, very good in PvE, even with this roll. The Rampage stacks, and obviously the Kinetic Tremors is going to hit after so many shots into an enemy if you don't end up killing them. But each bullet is hitting almost 3,000 on red bars, unshielded. You can see I've even hit higher than that. And then on the wizard here, I mean, you can see 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, and then you get the Kinetic Tremor hitting for just bonus DPS. So this is a great option if you don't want to tie up your exotic. And you can take this into pretty much everywhere. This is along the lines of Chattering Bone. So Blast Furnace, if you haven't been farming for it, I encourage you to do so. Next up for Strand, there's not a lot of options for pulse rifles that you can choose from, but one of the ones that hopefully you've been able to get your hands on is Different Times. Different Times is a 540 legendary pulse rifle sitting in the Kinetic slot. You can pair this with virtually any build. You can roll it with hatchling like what I've got, and you're going to periodically drop threadlings and unravel targets. If you love Strand but you don't want to waste your Kinetic slot on a Quicksilver Storm or an exotic, Different Times puts out enough DPS for your everyday red and yellow bars that it's going to absolutely help you, especially if you love threadlings. You get those precision kills, get those multi-kills, you're going to be dropping them like crazy. So that's Different Times. Season of the Deep is where it was unlocked. If you didn't get your hands on it, you might have to farm for it. Xur does sell it occasionally, as well as Banshee. Well, that is Different Times. Like I said, Substance and Hatchling is what I've got it rolled with. This is a super fun weapon to use. Next up on the list for Solar, I've got the BXR Battler. Now this one you can get from running the Dares of Eternity. If you haven't farmed for a good roll on this, or you haven't gotten all the red bars to unlock this, this is one of those weapons. If you love Solar and you love building into Solar, you can roll this with what I've got, which is Incandescent and Heating Up. You can throw a counterbalance on there if you want, or you can throw a backup mag if you want more rounds. But as you can see, I am just mowing down red bars. It is superb for ad clear. Think of it like a non-exotic Solar version of like Graviton Lance. And obviously with the Heating Up perk, you're going to end up getting bonus damage when you get multi-kills. So you can see right here, Energy Siphon on the side, the Killing Breeze, that's your bonus right there. And you can see I'm hitting for 2,000, I'm hitting for 4,000. Even on the shielded enemy, I'm putting out 1,000 to 3,000 worth of damage per round. And obviously you get that splash damage with the Incandescent, and it's just, and you're going to get ignitions as well from time to time. It's just one of those weapons. If you don't have a good roll, or you haven't run dares in a while, and you're looking for an excellent Solar Pulse Rifle, this will undoubtedly stop Unstoppable Champs as well. And it is a great Solar add-on if you're taking Solar into that Legend or Master Lost sector with Unstoppable Champs, and even into the Haunted Lost sector activity that's here at Festival of the Lost. So that is the BXR Battler. Next up, I've got Insidious from Vow of Disciple raid. Now this is one of these weapons where if you haven't raided much, it's one of those where you are going to have to go into the raid to get it. It's not a super noob friendly raid, so you're going to have a pretty decent build just to get in on it. But either way, the Insidious is an excellent addition to any arc build. I have a ton of fun with it. It also looks really freaking cool. It can proc you amplified once you're running that arc subclass, and with very little effort you're going to be able to mow down virtually any ad, and it's also going to stop Unstoppable Champs as well. I've got mine with Dragonfly and One for All, and one little tiny perk on this is going to be the, nope, naturally I died there, the Soul Drinker. And Soul Drinker is a nice little add-on, gain health based on the number of hits before reloading. So every time you reload, you're going to get some health, which makes Insidious an excellent option for those Legend or Master Lost sectors. And because you can proc stats for all with Dragonfly, it's a damage boost in and of itself. You can clear out mountains of ads. You can take on those champs. And you can see, it's got decent damage, decent range. You saw there on the Wizard, I was putting 2,000 to 4,000 worth of DPS per bullet, and that's going to be huge. So if you haven't checked it out or you haven't crafted it yet, for Arc, this is a really, really good pulse rifle. Next up, I've got Corasion. Now, Corasion became available from Failsafe last season. It is part of last season's craftable weapons. Corasion is a ridiculously good powerhouse. Arc specific, it can roll with Vol shots, which everybody loves. And I've also got mine rolled with Enlightened Action, which, if you're not familiar with what Enlightened Action is, it is super powerful. Get it enhanced. You get improved reload speed and handling. You can see handling and reload speed are not top tier, but damage and range are. This thing can stop unstoppable champions in roughly 3 to 6 hits. So you're constantly proccing the stun effect for them in those master or legend lost sectors or anywhere that's going to have champs. And as you can see, the ad clear ability of this is just stupid good. You pair this with prismatic, you can inflict jolt on targets, and I mean, it really is everything. So if you're looking for a good arc pulse rifle, this is another option. It's a little bit slower than Insidious at 324 versus 450, but honestly, you're going to be reloading so much, it's not going to matter. So get a kill, reload, and start firing again. You can see I'm already chaining arc shots together. I've generated, I don't know how many ionic traces in this, but again, this is just an ability energy machine. So that is Corasion. Don't worry about the rounds per minute. You're going to be having plenty of ad clear ability as well as stun capability with champs with this weapon. Last but not least, one weapon I've been riding extremely hard in this season is Graviton Lance. Now, pretty much everyone knows what Graviton Lance is, but the artifact perks for Void proc while using this. So you're going to constantly be getting bonus DPS, bonus weakening ability, and obviously, if you haven't been using Graviton, then you don't know that it is also a great DPS weapon. Even though it has lower RPM, that second shot, you can see right there, I'm doing 4,900, I'm doing 5,000. And then obviously when it comes to ads, once they spawn out here, you're going to see one shot. I mean, I'm putting out a ridiculous amount of ad clearing potential with this weapon, so it's great for Void builds. There's not really any legendary Void pulse rifles that I would say are even really worth it. There's a couple of them that I'd recommend for PvP, but as far as PvE, I think you're just going to have to bite the bullet and go with Graviton, because Graviton, especially with the artifact perks for this season, there's not going to be anything that really compares to it. And because it's an exotic, you're going to be getting, I mean, you can see all the purple bricks I got lying around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, this is from earlier, but I mean, it's going to be spawning heavy bricks for you regularly, which means you can play into a Void heavy weapon as well and make it that much more powerful. So Graviton Lance, rounding out the pulse rifles that have been circulating within my builds. Obviously, there's going to be some debate, so I'm curious to see what you guys are using, which ones did I leave out. There's definitely some honorable mentions, but I don't want to spoil it. I want to engage with you guys, find out what's been working for you. Obviously, there's some stasis ones. I didn't even touch on those, but that's only because stasis is more for that grenade launcher this season. So let me know in the comments what you've been running. Let me know what you think of the pulse rifles that I've been using, and let me know which one is your favorite. As always, if you did find anything helpful with this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you know someone that's been struggling with builds, struggling with stunning unstoppable champions, you know, share this video with them, give them some options. I'm going to briefly show my inventory right now so you can see. For Kinetic, I had Blast Furnace, Chattering Bone, and Outbreak Perfected. Now the key with Blast Furnace is Kinetic Tremors and Rampage. Chattering Bonus Kill Clip and Kinetic Tremors. Obviously, Outbreak, you can craft that however you want. I've got Rapid Hit for Strand, different times. It's 540 Substance and Hatchling. For Void, obviously Graviton. And for Arc, Insidious with Dragonfly and One for All, or Corrasion Enlightened Action Volshot. And then obviously for Solar, the BXR Battler with Heating Up and Incandescent. So hopefully this was able to help somebody out. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave me a message, and I'll engage with pretty much anyone on here, on suggestions, tips, whatever. This is also my first video where I have HDR turned off, as a suggestion by a previous commenter that there's some oversaturation going on in my videos. Hopefully this video finds you well, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.